Hi, I'm Jeff, and here at Waterbrook, ever since the war in Ukraine began, we've had a heart and a burden for those that have created the largest displaced people, the largest refugee crisis that's happening in the world today. And so ever since our first trip in March, we've been concerned about what can we do to help out. And as part of our Love One Another campaign this year, we've been working on ways to do that. And so from that first trip, and then Jonathan went and he stayed in Ukraine, spent the night. He was where there was active fighting going on to get supplies into those who needed it. And then Tanya and Vicky went as the next team then in May. And when they went, they worked with kids and helping to start a new program for refugee children, as well as working at the border for those who were crossing. And then Pastor Ween and Karen, they also served up at the food cart at the border where they dealt with people who were crossing, going back and forth, those who were taking supplies in. While Julie stayed in Bucharest in June, and she worked there with the kids and helping those refugee kids to get a leg up to start to learn English and to learn who Jesus was. And our next trip is Adam, who's going in July and going to work with our partners at Life Romania, working with the camps and with kids there. These are all really important ministries, and what happens is I want you to know how important these things are and what continues to be the needs here. And so I want to start with some of these stories, and I'm going to begin with Jonathan.
So going into Ukraine, some of the biggest needs that I saw was actually the need for prayer for our brothers and sisters who are in another country sacrificing their time and their energy and their efforts. It's very dangerous and they need to be encouraged. The other thing that they really need are resources. The logistics at times are a nightmare. There are people who are renting vehicles just trying to run food and supplies in. So it's been important that Waterbrook's been able to help out with giving food, supplies, as well as prayer to our brothers and sisters in Ukraine.
There's so many people in Ukraine who have lost everything. They've lost homes, they've lost family, they have lost their livelihoods, and these are just ordinary people like us. They, moms with babies who are desperate for a job and daycare, and children who need medical care, special medical care, teenage boys who are not old enough to fight, so they're trying to navigate how they fit now in this strange world that they're in. And so we have this great opportunity coming alongside Life Romania to witness about our mighty God, who's the only one who can make beauty out of the ashes they're in.
When I found out I was working with children, I was so excited. I grabbed up books that I had read to my grandchildren and bought craft supplies and was able to impart some English to these kids, animals, colors, and numbers. And then I also got to work with the after-school program. What a joy and privilege it was. I was just so full to the brim when I came home.
In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, Apostle Paul talked about believers being different parts of Christ's body. Serving at the border requires me to be different parts of Christ's body. I'm his eyes to see where the needs are, his feet to move me toward the situation or the people who are in need, his ears to hear their fears and their heart's longings, his hand to serve and assist them, and his heart to show compassion and love for them. Bring this all together, my role there is just being a student with a humble and teachable attitude, looking to her master teacher, listening to his voice, and following his directions.
These Ukrainian efforts matter because we are all God's people, and God commands us to love one another. The Ukrainians have watched their country, their family, and their friends being destroyed. This border effort provides them with a few minutes of some immediate basic needs being met from people all over the world that have come there to help meet those needs in a time of now what do we do next in their lives.
I was able to go and work with the Ukrainian refugee children, and I was able to share the gospel with them. I was able to share Bible stories with them. We sang songs, we did crafts, we just spent time loving on them. It was an amazing time when these children are feeling insecure and nervous and scared, to just let them know that they're loved and they're cared for. I was also able to work with Life Romania and help prepare for their upcoming camps and think of craft ideas for them. And it was just such a blessing. I left a little piece of my heart in Romania. Thank you for letting us go.
So when people ask me why they should support Life Romania, Waterbrook's been involved with them for years, but I've personally been involved with them for years, and they are literally the hands and feet of Christ for the Ukrainians that are coming across the border right now. And when you think about all the work that they do for their full-time ministry, for the camps, for the local sports tournaments, and now they're doing another full-time ministry taking care of these Ukrainians. It is so important for us to not only be praying for them, but to support them any way that we can.
Dear Wiley and Waterbrook Bible Church family, we want to thank you for all the help you've been sending to Romania for the Ukrainian refugees, and not only for them but also for us. So the whole staff, we want to say thank you.
Thank you for all the materials for the Ukrainian kids and for the materials for summer camps.
Thank you for gas for more than 7 trips.
Thank you for English lessons and many first aid kits.
Thank you for clothes and boots for the Ukrainian soldiers.
Thank you for over 10 vans of food.
Thank you so much for physically coming to us and helping us, especially for Pastor Jeff, Pastor John, Jonathan, and Pastor Yun Lee, and also my ladies, Miss Vicky, Miss Tanya, Miss Julie, and Miss Karen. Thank you so much.
God bless you guys.
Thank you, Yulian. It is so exciting to be a part of this process and for our Waterbrook family and other friends here from North Texas to be engaged in helping to demonstrate the love of God to these people who have great need. Thank you if you've already given. If you haven't, I urge you again, or maybe if you have and would like to give again, to go to waterbrook.org and go to the giving option and give to the Ukraine humanitarian efforts. The need, though it's getting quieter in the news, is still as great as ever. We'll continue to send teams, and every dime that is given to Waterbrook to those humanitarian effort funds go directly to these needs. And so if you can give, I urge you to join us in helping others, not only here but around the world. Let them know what Jesus commanded us to do, and that is to love one another. Thank you.